Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of DMP for That's My Podcast. And lately I've been by myself, but have a little check-in today with JJ.
Hi everybody. What's going on? Thank you for having me on your podcast again for another episode.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah, since the last apartment.
Yeah, I talk to him always about my podcast and stuff and what's going on, but I feel like he hasn't been on in forever because we've just kind of been both grinding on different creative stuff. So combining and getting together. Sometimes we already do that with the clothing brand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to kind of have our own type of things. But of course I've been wanting to have you on again for a while now. So but I do want to do
means a lot.
I do want to do an episode with JJ that you guys, I feel like it'll be super nice about business, but
on business.
How to get your LLC and stuff like that. But this episode kind of wanted to do just mental check-in and talk about on my main right now, on Instagram and stuff like that, I saw this challenge. It was 30 days of clarity. It's just little tips and different things that I'm using my own experience of different things that I feel like I learned that has helped me get to a better headspace. And so I kind of wanted to transition that into my podcast as well and just kind of talk about a few things. It's kind of a broad subject, but just kind of talking about gratitude, staying present, getting into just how we got into good headspaces lately, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially with daylight savings time because it be getting dark.
Depressing.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to talk about kind of what's been going on lately, or if you want to talk about your journey of at all with your headspace.
Yeah. I'd say I kind of do a reset at the first of the month. Every month, I just have more motivation. But seeing you write down the consistency for the 30 days it was inspiring, just because I was okay, I'm kind of do my own thing, and I don't know, you just knocked out the planning so easy, and I was like, holy shit, it's it's that simple, and I overcomplicate everything. So a big one I'm trying to do is just move more, so I'm trying to do 3 miles of at least some type of cardio, walking, whatever it may be, each day, and that's been going well, and it just helps me get active and stuff. That's the biggest one.
Mm-hmm. No, that's been inspiring too. He's being humble, but he literally just did 8 miles the other day, and you've been staying consistent with no matter how you're running, or how long you're running, how many miles. It's always been a 10-minute mile, which is so good. Honestly, I don't know if everybody would understand that, I guess, if you're not super active or you don't like to run. But I mean, for me, endurance is very tough. So I could do maybe faster. I still feel I'll probably do a 10-minute mile right now or more. But if I was just doing 1 mile, but doing multiple miles where you're able to actually stay consistent in your time and just knowing how to balance your stamina.
Yeah.
As well as he doesn't listen to music while he runs either. So
yeah,
that's even crazier.
Okay. That's kind of not by choice, but at the same time, it's not
struggle bus.
My phone is messed up, so it doesn't connect to Bluetooth anymore. But at the same time, David Goggins does this thing where it's a cheat if you listen to music. So it's I don't know. I kind of like that. It does help you just think about just whatever you're going through, and just, I guess, mentally push yourself.
Yeah. In the gym, we haven't been listening to music lately.
And it's fun.
Yeah, honestly, it makes us have a good time, especially since sometimes we'll work out together, and then it's to me, it's too much working out with someone and also having your headphones in, because too much is happening in my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know if anybody has seen my TikTok, but whenever we do those little videos of us dancing at the gym, that's us dancing to the music that's playing on the gym.
And yeah, we actually be dancing too. We would just be randomly break out into dance between sets.
Yeah, even though it's we do it again for the camera, it's based off of real lifetime events. But No, I appreciate that you said that, like, it just seemed like easy, like the planning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that is honestly like the first step to just like, I guess, clarity in general is like, well, at least for me, is like putting pen to paper, because like my brain, you know, so many things are going on in there. So like actually writing down like a schedule. I've talked about that a lot on the podcast of just like writing in general, how journaling helps and stuff like that. But genuinely just like coming up with plans, like writing down your goals of what you actually want to accomplish. I feel like helps you not feel so overwhelmed whenever it's just sitting all in your head. Because like you can actually see it and you can focus on one at a time versus like everything feeling like you have to get everything done all at once.
Yeah, and that like coming out like of like this like mindset of us like kind of being in this good headspace was like, you know, it was last week or the week before when I was like kind of just having a bad day. It was because of like I wasn't clear on my thinking or clear on what I needed to do first, and so the journaling in the morning that I've been doing has been helping with just like getting those thoughts out and organizing them.
Yeah, he's been like doing like meditating and then journaling, and then like he has a whole morning routine, so
a ritual.
Yeah, it's nice, honestly. I choose to sleep longer.
It's so funny.
He like gets up out of bed and I'm like, okay, cool, I got another hour.
And I know that's what you're thinking too.
Yeah. And then we head to the gym, but like, today.
That's your meditation.
Literally, I've been still marking it off on. We've been like weekly plannings. I've still been marking off meditation. I'm like, yeah, even though I'm not sitting here like in my like, you know, like Zen moment, I'm like, yeah, I've been meditating.
That's a good thing to talk about though, like because like people just think meditation is sitting and like doing the whole. Like it can be going on a walk, listening to some music or whatever it is, but as long as you're like at peace and just kind of relaxed and in tune with yourself, I think that just counts as meditation. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like meditation is more about literally just getting yourself into a better headspace for that moment, like whether it's like, you know, digging deeper into your thoughts or just trying to clear bad thoughts out, or literally just like trying not to focus on anything at all, really. Like I feel like it's just about like meditation is what it is for you, I guess, like what you feel like you need. So I definitely think like that's just like mental health in general, as long as it's not like hurting anybody, I guess. But it's like, you know, figuring out what you need. I feel like some people like try one thing and they're like, oh, that didn't work out for me. Like, oh, that was kind of me. Like, oh, I was like in the past I had a bad therapy session. Like I had a bad therapy experience when I was 16. And so like going forward, I was like, oh, no, I'm never going to do therapy again. Like, it's not for me. It's not for me. Which, like, it is very nice now. Now I have a therapist.
You have a good therapist.
Yeah, and it was just, like, creating a better experience and maybe even just being in a better headspace, I guess. Maybe, like, feeling like I didn't have another option, or, like, I felt like I wanted to make it work for myself versus, like, when I was 16 going into therapy, I was like, I hate that I'm having to do this. So...
Yeah. And I told you when I first went to therapy, it was a terrible experience. Like I was back home, and like, yeah, it just wasn't like, I don't know, didn't seem like a good therapist, and it wasn't, and it kind of turned me off for a minute. But I was like, I still want to like seek out assistance and help and stuff.
Definitely.
And like, yeah, so it's just like, yeah, just figuring out what's right for you.
Yeah, I just watched like a little clip of like a YouTuber that I watch. Her name's Neza. But we're actually going to her concert this Friday.
Little shout out.
yes. But she had like a YouTube video and she was like talking. She's like had a sponsorship with BetterHelp, which I don't know if anybody has heard of that. You know, no, what is it called? This is not technically an ad. Wish I was sponsored. But like she did kind of like an ad for BetterHelp, but she was just talking and she was like, you know, there's lots, if you have a therapy session and you don't enjoy your therapist, like just go get another one. She's like, it's like dating around, finding a therapist. She was like, just date around and check in with other people.
That's funny.
And I thought that was funny.
That's
I was like, yeah, honestly, because like, I mean, I ended up getting like lucky with like the first one that I got through like Salesforce. Once I started working, I really enjoyed her, but I definitely looked at everybody's profiles first and like wanted to like look, and thankfully like she had availability. So it's like, you know, but definitely don't be afraid to like make changes and like, adjust.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess another thing that's been going on is just like, I feel like, well, at the gym the other day, we were talking randomly, and it was that you like finished I was like typing in on like, so I use like rep count for like my actual like workouts, and like typing them in, so I have like the history of the weight that I did and the reps.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like typing in the information, filling it out from the last workout that we had done, and he had like, JJ had already started on his, and like he finished all 12 reps before when I was putting my phone down, and I was like, you did all 12 right there?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He's like, you were paying attention. But it's like, it's crazy how fast time goes, like if you're not paying attention, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of talking. I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally like what we were talking about like a while back, how like we had both gotten into like different like depressive like periods of time, like both separately and at different times, but like just feeling like we just like woke up and we were like different ages.
Yeah. It's like almost like you hit fast forward when you're in a depressive state, and like you tune everything out, and so you don't like you are like going through all of that time and those moments, but like you're not really like, I don't know, acknowledging them. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, I would say
like you're floating through it, I guess.
Yeah, it's literally just acknowledging, I feel like, is good. And like that's what I feel like being present is about, is like it's not even about thinking that every moment is good necessarily, but it's about accepting each moment and actually like living it versus just going through the motions, I guess.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like being present is like a huge thing of just like, and in general, I feel like even if everything isn't a good moment, I feel like you can kind of try to find the good in each moment if you're actually thinking about it, versus, sorry, there's like really cute German Shepherds right now. We're at the park for people who like, I have actual video set up. Maybe this will be my first episode for season 2.
That'd be cool.
Because
breaking the season.
breaking the seasons. It's because nice. I have been trying to debate on like when I was going to cut off season 1 of podcasting. Maybe this will be it, because I'm like actually recording like video, so you guys can see us.
The shift.
Yes, yeah, difference. But
I like that.
Anyways, yeah, there's like a German Shepherd, which also I was going to say, like, since I'm going to be releasing video with audio, I'm probably not going to, I don't edit too much of my audio anyways, everybody, as you probably heard if you, if you've listened to like most of my podcasts. Sometimes I'll just like leave like even my testings in there sometimes. Every once in a while I'm like, I'll just leave it in.
Yeah.
But I probably won't like edit as much of the audio, so like if you hear random stuff, that's probably just because I decided to leave it in. That way, if you watch it with the video, you can kind of actually,
feel like you're here.
Yeah, definitely.
You're sitting with us in the soccer field.
We're friends. We're getting together. But yeah, going back to like being present and stuff like that. Like I feel like if you're actually looking at the moment, I feel like it's easier for you to figure out something that you can appreciate about it, especially if you have like a good perspective, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's when we went to like this past Sunday, we went to Walk at LA, the yoga thing, and it was like, first of all, thank you for bringing me there, by the way. It was fun, but like there were like at the park. Thank you. At the park there was like this river and stuff like that, and it was just like, I don't know, it was just so nice and just beautiful. But
yeah, it was gorgeous.
I was like reading this book I've been reading, and it talked about this like mindset of like not always assuming something's a bad situation. So like the story, and I'll just do a little snippet of it, but it was like there was a farmer and like a horse ran away, and when the horse ran away, the townspeople, like his neighbors and stuff, were like, oh, that's terrible, that's awful. And he goes, maybe not. The horse comes back with 2 more horses, and then the townspeople are, oh, that's great, that's amazing. And like he's like, maybe not. And then like his son attempts to ride one of the horses that are wild, and he ends up getting kicked off and breaks his leg or something like that. And the townspeople were like, oh, that's terrible, that's awful. And the farmer's like, maybe not. The next day, the military comes in recruiting young men, and his son doesn't get recruited because he has a broken leg. And he goes, and the townspeople are like,
I like that.
Yeah, and so it keeps on going.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, so it's like just not jumping to assumptions on whether a moment is good or bad, and like just kind of trying to see the good in each situation, or just, you know, rolling with the punches a little bit.
Definitely. I think like a big thing that has been like, honestly, maybe that's what's been the biggest shift in me is like, so like, not to cut you off because that was really good, but like I think it just like made me have a little moment of just like, oh, there's a little bead right here. Sorry, for a moment.
Be present. Be there.
Yeah. But there's like in all the books that I was reading and like, you know, I was doing shadow work and like even just talking to my therapist and stuff like that, pretty much like the biggest thing that I was realizing that I struggled with in like just life is like, because, you know, like I'm not exactly where I want to be in life, like where I thought I guess I would be, but honestly I'm like kind of happy because like I don't know, I never thought I'd be here like doing this right now, you know. But I guess it's just been like acceptance.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, so I feel like that is like kind of what helps you like not pinpoint something as necessarily bad or necessarily like great, whatever. It's just like accepting each moment and, you know, just like you said, just like rolling with the punches. But I think acceptance is like not just acknowledging, it's like actually being at peace with whatever happens. So it's just like being able to be at peace internally so that you can keep on moving forward with your life and in your thoughts, and it's not like whatever the situation is, it's not holding you back where it's like, oh, you feel like you've reached a certain point so you don't have to grow anymore, or feeling like, oh, so discouraged that you don't want to move on either. It's just like accepting it. And
I've been in that situation where like you do get discouraged and you don't want to like take the next step because you're like, you don't know what's going to happen of it. But it's like acceptance is such a good thing because like you have to accept the things you can control and the things out of your control. Like you should like accept that as well. But like just realize like you can't let that like stop you from doing things or moving forward.
Yeah, like control was like a big thing for me. So like if you don't have acceptance, normally you choose to try to control, and then you try to control every aspect to where it's like you're not even living anymore.
Exactly.
Because like even it's like past even just like, you know, relationships, control with relationships. It's like also, you know, trying to control the different things that happen in your life. And when you're doing that, it's like you try to predict. You're always either living in the past or living in the future because of your control issues.
And it's just you're just giving energy to an outcome that you wish will happen, but like it's more about, and this is just life in general, being open to the experiences and accepting of like whatever will happen, and you just know you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, literally just thinking that was literally like literally my thought process, which I just journaled about this the other day, but like I was going to talk to you about it. Like, so we just had like kind of like a bad day when it came to like financials, which I just talked about money in like my other podcast. So it's like not even like I need to rehash everything, but it's just like a bad day. Like, okay, first of all, parking tickets are so real here, which
oh my God.
It's so effing stupid, man. Right? It's so cute. Okay, sorry, we're talking about the bead again. That's definitely like a little crystal
but that
thingy.
was the spark of it, why we got into that bad funk that day. It was like, I was already kind of going through it. I was like feeling cluttered that day, just not productive because I didn't like, you know, start the day with an intention. And I had gotten 2 parking tickets. That was on me. So because I was going to the dentist, and so I ended up like getting my teeth and everything done. That was good, but like it just happened.
The time went out on the meter.
Yeah, and so because you know dental work, like what I was getting done was like a filling, and it took fucking forever. Sorry, I passed it on your podcast.
Yeah, it's okay. I normally mark them as explicit.
Okay, cool. But so like we had 2 tickets from a while back, and when you called and checked on them, they had like already passed like the expiration of like, you know, when we're supposed to pay them on time. Yeah, and you have to pay them within 21 days, or else they literally double in price. Yeah, and so like we were like, oh man, it was just like a damper on our mood, and then I also got a parking ticket. Yeah. From not moving the car for street cleaning, so it wasn't all on JJ. But yeah, like, and all of them like had gotten marked up and like had to be paid before like the second week of this month or whatever, before they would go up again. And like then it's like they go up one more time, and then the next penalty is like your registration gets suspended or whatever. It's like really ridiculous, but because you also can't really get payment plans, so it's just like
anyways, it's wild. But it was just like a stressful, it was a stressful situation because like just budgeting in general, like just when you're kind of like living like paycheck to paycheck, it's just not fun to like think about using money already from your next paycheck when you already know most of your next paycheck is going to be going to bills. It's like, okay, like I would love to have had some of that because we just got done dog sitting this insane dog.
He was cute, but not trained at all.
Yeah.
And I kind of already knew like he was gonna be stressful, but yeah. So like that whole situation was like it was for 2 weeks.
It was for over 2 weeks. It was like 17 days.
Yeah. So it was a lot. Not gonna lie, but we got through it. We like we worked as a team.
We did. Definitely, we killed it, honestly. But it was tough. JJ helped me a lot with it because like my patience was wearing thin.
When you were at your like the end of your rope, I was like, okay, I got this.
Yeah,
and when I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here.
I was like, okay, I got it. But yeah, so like we got extra money from that, and so I was like, like excited, and then I like realized it was not extra money. It was like money that we needed to pay bills already. And so it was just like a stressful day. But I literally thought to myself, I was like, everything. Hubby, sorry.
She has this like definitely, fear of just bees. I don't know. Like it's like you could get stung, but it's like you just keep on going. But she would just run away, and like there's this time it made me so mad. I was like, if she's a fight or flight, I know how she'll be in a situation.
Listen, he holds this against me.
So this was like a while ago, but this is like we're going to like the gym in the morning, and like this bee lands on me, and I'm like, can you get it off? And she couldn't get it off. Couldn't like swat it or nothing. And I was just like, okay, I just had to like.
It seemed angry already.
I had to deal with it myself, and she left me to die.
I didn't. No, I would have worked it up, but I had to work up the courage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
I believe you.
Yeah. Thank you.
See if there's another situation where a bee wants to land on me. See if you'll step in.
I have since then because I was like, that redeemed myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you want any of the water.
We're cooking out here.
No, literally. But
it's nice though.
It is so nice. Get some vitamin D. You know what I mean?
We've been sponsoring so many people on this episode.
I know we just have a Gatorade bottle, but this just has water in it. But with a little bit of Gatorade. I don't know if y'all have had cucumber melon or cucumber limon.
Limon.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw my Duolingo stats. Top 8%.
Okay, get back to the where we're at.
Yeah, so I was having a bad day thinking about money, but I just like sat there. I was like re-budgeting, whatever, and I literally just kept on telling myself in my head, which my therapist has helped me with, coming up with affirmations to tell myself at different triggers. And it's just like telling myself like everything's going to be okay. Like I'll be okay. JJ's going to be okay. We have food in the fridge right now. Like, like I just paid rent. So at least that's out of the way. Like just figuring out things that I can be thankful for and realizing like everything will be okay. That's another day. So like maybe something will happen again before that day. Cause like some of the bills, like I like to pay my bills when I first get paid, even if they're not due, if I know that the bill period is going to be within that paycheck. So it's just like thinking like, okay, that's due the 14th. Maybe something will happen before the 14th. Like everything's going to be okay. And then that's whenever like just a good thing happened to us after good thing after good thing. It was crazy. I was like, the universe is so like shining on us right now.
If you believe in that type of stuff, we definitely do. But yeah, it was like crappy mood. And then we got like free furniture because our place was still been bare for a while.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was just great.
Yeah, like we met our landlord and she was like, you want this free dining room table? It's like this beautiful, you're not in frame that much. Move over here.
What's up, guys? I'm back. Back in frame.
But she was like, want this beautiful dining room table? Like, she didn't say beautiful, but I was like, that's effing beautiful.
Yeah, no, for real.
It's like glass with, I don't know how to pronounce it, rattan?
Oh, I just call it rattan.
Rattan. I feel like it's not pronounced that way though.
If you guys know how to pronounce it, put it in the comments below.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. But it was like so beautiful. And then we got like JJ found a bookshelf on Craigslist. Was it on Craigslist or Facebook?
No, the bookshelf was on Facebook Marketplace. It was for free.
Yeah.
And yeah,
she had like other furniture.
ended up getting like 2 nightstands that were pretty decent condition. That were free. And then the landlord came like back the next day and like bought 3 pieces of clothing from our brand, which she's just like, I'm not gonna price you because it's just weird, you know, our landlord.
Yeah.
And she's like 70, and she ended up just sending me $180. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
So
it was like
just
so sweet.
So cool.
And it was just cool too because like what she liked was like, it was like our more like grungy, like acid wash stuff.
It was
and
definitely like rock star stuff.
Yeah, and she was like, I love this. This is mine now. It was like so sweet.
And she wore the bleached hoodie out. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
She was like, I wish I would have had this morning because I was volunteering and I know everybody would have been like, where did you get that?
Yeah.
So she's just like very sweet, and I was just like very thankful for that moment because we also that morning had just had like a business meeting like for Jaded, and like, you know, it was just like cool to like, you know, we've been putting in more effort with like the business and like thought process towards it, and it's just like another thing of like reassurance, I guess. Like you don't always need reassurance, but getting reassurance is amazing.
It is nice. It is nice.
But also we got a free credenza.
Yeah,
which
that shit
was
is
cool.
heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it was so heavy, and like the dude that gave it to us was like very kind as well, so cool, like just good energy. We've just been like, shout out to Denton. Yeah, I've like never like really I like the idea of like the angel numbers and stuff like that. I think they're cute. But like sometimes I'm just like, you know, 777, like I'm just attracting. Like I kind of say it as a joke, but I low key for that like this past like month, I'm like, bro, like maybe this shit does work. Like I'm just like feeling like high vibrations, I guess. Like it really does help. Like you really do attract what you're putting back into the universe, which like I try to say, and like I guess like I kind of preach on, but like I just genuinely feel like that's so true.
Along with like all that stuff is like when we were at the park, when I was reading, I just kind of like realized I needed to change my mindset and like being so down on myself, like, oh, I didn't get this done, and like kind of beating myself up for it a little bit of like not being productive or believing in myself, and like shifting that mindset to like you can do it, and changing the dialogue that you have with yourself. It puts out that good energy, so you can like, I don't know, just I feel like that feeds into you getting more, or you know, receiving what you're trying to obtain, I guess.
Yeah,
so you're going.
You're so cute, but it's also like figuring like you know, I feel like it gives you more of a why too, like just having that like positive mindset is just like, I don't know, I just feel like it really does help motivate, which I feel like I talk about this a lot on the podcast, is just like bringing positivity, but I mean, you know, let it in. I don't know, like, you know, it's just like
allowing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like it's all about, you know, I've like talked to people about like, you know, feeling like nervous to like post on social media and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like if that's something that you really want to do, then like be excited to do it. Like sometimes you don't even have to have that confidence at first. Like I'm not like this whole like fake person or whatever, but you know, like talking about like the pictures that I posted, like remember I used to do like the little photo shoots in your kitchen back home? Like I was like literally like I had like the worst, like I felt so bad about my body, but I was like posting, like I was in like a bra and underwear, or like literally like Fenty. Though. Thank you. Like the Savage Fenty is mainly for you.
I know. I'd be gone and you just be sending like every
Yeah, I'd be sending him stuff on Snap.
How are you outing yourself?
It's okay. They know.
They know you like this.
Yeah, that's my bestie right here. But like, just like I didn't really have the confidence at that point, but like I just did it, and then I would just tell I would post it. I would like check in with like Rowan and Ethan. I would like send it to them and be like, should I post this? Like, you know, like, but it's just about like actually putting it out there. And then like, I think it kind of gives you confidence. Cause like, to me, like this is one of the days of clarity, is like the motivation that you get from just doing it, like gives you momentum to move forward and keep going with it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's really just getting over the hump of starting.
Yep.
Like, and that's with anything. Like, if you're starting to try and have a good attitude, if you're trying to like start a new job, a new hobby, like whatever, it's just a start.
And it's like you're gonna suck at it. Like that's like the biggest thing. I try to be like a perfectionist when I get into a new hobby or whatever. Like, I gotta like know everything about it and then like be perfect the first time I do it. But it's like, no, you're not. There's no way.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna take time and like practice to get better. Like, it's not gonna be crisp. And like another thing with putting it out, like, is just being fearful of like people judging you. But like, whatever you put out and the message or energy and the content, like the right people that are meant for you are going to support you. People that don't, like, are not on the same path, they're not. And it's like, who cares?
Yeah, honestly, it's like there's what I thought something was nice when we were just like, we had a one-on-one with like someone that's like in charge of like the business meetings that like we've been on. It was actually with Caro.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, she just said like,
yeah, we
had, because like with the other dude, like Mihai, he's been like kind of like big on like, okay, what are you guys going to do to stand out? Because you're like, he's not trying to be rude, but he's just like, okay, you're a clothing brand. There's so many clothing brands.
Yeah.
But like with Caro, she just had like a different type of mindset. She was just like, as long as you find it, like the way she said it, she was like saying the same thing as Mihai, but she was just it was very kind the way she said it. And she was just kind of like, listen, as long as you find your niche, I believe that there's a space for literally everybody who wants to create. She was like, just figure out your niche, because you will always find someone that appreciates what you are going to have.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, it's about not realizing that you don't have to please everybody, or everybody doesn't have to be a huge fan. It's just like about finding your people, like, honestly. And I think that's like even plays into like friendships, relationships, whatever. Like, I feel like sometimes people get very disheartened whenever one person like doesn't like them, and it's like, that's okay. Like, it's like it's just like in reality it's one person, and it's like, okay, that person might have meant a lot to you, but it's like, think about how much, like, if that one person that like wasn't even down for you, like, if you had that much love for them, think about how much love you're going to have for somebody that's actually like down for you. Like, whether it's a friendship, relationship, whatever, like, I don't know. I just think sometimes, like, what was it? Something that I saw that was like a thought process that I'm not sure if I fully believe in yet, but trying to just kind of accept. It's just like, you'll never miss out on something that's meant for you.
I think that's true. Like, because like it'll still be there for you,
Yeah. Well, it's just like, like different things that you like feel like you fail at, or different things, like if you feel like you lost out on a person, like, oh, that was a good one that got away, like, but it's just you have those thoughts in the moment, but just realizing that like you're never going to miss out on something that is going to be like meant for you.
Exactly.
It's like meant to stay.
And it goes back to like the control thing. Like, you can't control like someone else's whatever, how they feel, or just things out of your control. But and just being okay with whatever it happened or what,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like moving the mic back and forth.
I was like, no, literally, I was like looking at you doing it. I was like, I don't know how well the mic's gonna pick it up. But you have a great podcasting voice. I was jealous when we filmed like my first episode. I think JJ was a part of it, or like maybe the second episode or something like that. And I remember like sitting there and editing it, and I was like, I'm so jealous. I was like, bro, his voice sounds so good. But maybe that's just maybe because I love you. But
I think that's what it is. There's a lot of like, oh yeah, I really like him. That's why I enjoy everything about him.
Oh man. But no, did you have anything else that you felt like we should like talk about or anything like that? Because I mean, I don't know, I feel like we've talked a lot.
Yeah, we did talk a lot. I think I wanted to ask a question, and it's also kind of help other people that are maybe struggling. Was like, how would you? What advice would you give someone to stay on track or get mentally clear, and then to focus on being present and positive? So like,
that's a good question.
Yeah, right.
You always pull these out, and I'm like, you should just have your own podcast. I would say advice like stay on track, stay positive, get started, like mental clarity. I would say obviously like the writing. I would say if you haven't already read like a self-help type of book, I would say try to find one. I know that sounds crazy, but I think like reading like Jay Shetty's book, like I have talked about it before, like has kind of like, it really did change how I thought, like almost like rewired the way that I think about like health and like my own brain, just because like beforehand I guess especially coming from like a religious background, I was always kind of taught like you don't need to read self-help books, like we have the Bible, like, but that's like totally not true, because like the self, like depending on like the books that you read, like they can really help you dig into your own brain and understand what questions you need to ask yourself, because like everybody's different, and I think sometimes you want to be better, but you don't know how. So I think figuring out how and what is wrong, I would say like pinpointing the issues, and then figuring out like what's going to work for you. So like not being scared to try, put yourself out there. But I think first you need to understand like, okay, what do you feel like is wrong? What's making you unhappy? And then trying to understand the questions that you need to ask yourself, and then figuring out like what's going to help. Because sometimes the things that you think are wrong aren't really wrong. And I think like that's what self-help and mental clarity is all about, I guess.
Yeah, that's really good. I think that's something we both utilize, is like cornering that part of our brain, is like figuring out what it is that's bothering us, and then figuring out a way to address it.
Also, if you feel like you're in a funk, because sometimes it's all about like you feel like you're in a hole, you are so much more likely to like isolate yourself, but don't. Like, I think that's like a big thing. Like, if you do not isolate yourself, you will be held accountable by other people when you're not holding yourself accountable. As long as you put yourself with a good group. So if you have people that you genuinely trust and are there for you, and not just going to support your bad like tendencies, I would say definitely, as much as it would seem annoying. I'm about to sneeze. Oh.
Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Thank you. I'm going to just hold my nose so I don't sneeze. But as much as you would want to like kind of like get away from them almost, because like when you're feeling down, you don't want to put yourself in a spot where you're going to be held accountable or someone's going to tell you what you need to hear. But like just do it anyways. And even if you don't accept it at first, eventually you will learn to accept it, and then it'll start hitting you, and you'll start, hitting the ground running, versus like staying down and in the dumps.
And if you're feeling like that, because like that is a big thing I do when I'm depressed or going through it, I don't like to I like to kind of isolate. And it's because I feel like a lot of shame of like, I don't feel like I'm at the potential I should be at. I don't feel like I'm like presenting myself where I should. And if you feel like, if you have people in your circle that are close enough to you where you can be vulnerable with them and express that, I don't think they're gonna see that as shame. They're gonna see that as like courage to express that, and they're gonna be there to support you. Because you've done that for me.
Definitely. I've like felt like that's like been a more attractive quality as someone that's like some like still emotional, obviously. Like, there's like a balance, I guess. Like, I'm not one of those girls that's like, oh my gosh, a man can cry. Like, but it's just like being able to be in touch, like emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
I think that's what it's all about. And if you just choose to ignore your issues, that's not intelligence. Yeah. So definitely. But what about you? I feel like I want to ask you the same question.
Okay. So I think that was a big one you kind of just touched on, is like when you're just like ignoring, like
I just moved my leg. I had so much grass stuck to me.
But when you're trying to ignore those signs and like what your body's telling you, and that's like something I'm doing as well, is like detoxing from like my phone. Detox. So I'm trying to detox from my phone and like the content I'm consuming, and then also I'm not smoking anymore this month, and then drinking. I'm not drinking anymore this month, and I'm staying away from pornography. I think that's like another one like men don't like to talk about, but it's like it definitely fucks with your brain. But what else? A big thing that's helped me is some type of routine. Like when you kind of don't know where to step or how to like where to put, take the first step, whatever. Just iron out like some type of rough routine. It can just be 4 things that you do in a day that's repeated, and you're just going to build momentum and then add to that list. And then like those 4 things that were like so tough to do initially are going to be 4 things that you just do automatically. That's how the writing and the meditation is now. Like it was like so inconsistent with like just writing 2 days in a row. Now I'm like, day 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just continuing.
Which is like one of the furthest ones you've gotten.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Honestly.
So, and I'm trying to continue this throughout this entire month as well as consistency. But yeah, like, and like, yeah, it's just like, it requires less energy once you start getting into that routine. It's like changing your identity that you identify with, like, oh, I'm the person that meditates. I'm the person that runs.
Yeah,
I'm the person.
alter ego.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tap
We got to do another episode.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, JJ's going to be back. But
see you guys next week.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I agree with you. And I think it's also like something that has helped is like telling ourselves at the beginning of doing something like, okay, we're only going to do this for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Like he's like wanting to do music. And so he's like practicing like his like, bars and writing by like doing like 5 minutes of freestyle every single day, like no matter what. And like, I'll give him a word and then he'll just like start spitting rhymes,
Probably need
like
to amp it up though. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, it's a good start at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
And like, I think that's what it's about is like, okay, setting yourself up for success is a huge thing. Like, don't try to overwhelm yourself and like say, I'm going to do this for 5 hours, because
you're not.
No, you're not. And then you're going to look at it as this huge daunting task. So like, tell yourself 5 minutes or whatever. Like, even if it's today, you have to do the laundry and you have to do the dishes. That can seem like a lot. Just say that you're going to do like 3 dishes, knock out 3 dishes. Say you're going to do 1 load of laundry or you're going to fold 10 pieces of clothes. Like set like a small goal, and then a lot of times once you start it, you're going to want to finish it, and you'll feel so good afterwards, and you can just use that momentum to do other things. So just setting yourself up for success. And
another one with the time is like realize that you do have the time too. That's another big excuse.
Do a little audit.
People like to make an excuse for it. And like when I did the 8 miles, the 8 miles sucked. Like, I didn't think I can do it. And it took me like an hour and 20 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, man, like, I could have spent that time like watching a movie, and it's the same time. It's just like, what are you choosing, or where are you choosing to put your time and your effort and your energy?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's a big one. Like, it doesn't take you long to complete these like tasks or these habits, but you just have to set aside the time.
Definitely. Killed that shit. But
friendship.
Yeah, it's something that we do in Rocket League all the time. Like, he started it with his friend, where it's like they, for first touch, just going off at the exact same time and bumping at the same time.
You pinch the ball, and then like it just like shoots so far, and it's like the power of friendship. It's just like when you're doing stuff with your friend, you can just go so much further than doing it alone.
Yeah, so it started with Rocket League, and now like random times where it's like, oh, power of friendship.
That's good. That's
But yeah, I feel like I appreciate you being on this episode.
Thank you.
I really hope that like the viewers or listeners, like that you're able to find something that you're able to relate to, or something that you could use. I'm like still figuring out like the podcast and like how I, topics that I want to talk about or that you guys would want to hear. So if you have any tips or like things that you really do want to hear, like, whatever, feel free to let me know. I'm putting this out to connect with people and to really try to like, inspire and like make people feel not alone. So if there's something specific that you would want to hear, then feel free, just send me a DM. I'm very approachable,
Very approachable. She's the sweetest person I know. Like,
shut up.
You are. No, for real.
I'm gonna beat him up later.
She can try.
Hey, you taught me your workout routine, so
you've been getting buff.
No, but I appreciate you. So everybody also don't slide into his DMs, please, but slide over to JJ. His Instagram is jordanjune.wav.
Yeah.
And then he'll be, releasing some cool things on there coming up. So stay tuned. I don't know if there's any other like things other than your IG.
No, I think that's the only one really. And from there, you can, I guess if I'm putting stuff out somewhere else, you can find it on there as well.
Yeah, say less. We'll slide over there, send him some love, and
Send me the love.
The love. But thank y'all for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, your week. Christmas is coming up. Goodness.
Yeah.
Gracious. I hope everything's been well with daylight savings time. And yeah, talk to y'all later.
Bye, guys.